Hi, everyone. This is an introduction and instructions for exercise 5. So this exercise is about painting using chiaroscuro, which is a old technique started in the Middle Ages or even before that, and perfected in the Renaissance in Europe. So first of all, I'd like to read the project or the exercise sheet, the exercise instruction sheet. So I'll bring that up. So exercise 5, painting fruit in chiaroscuro with Photoshop brushes. You're going to use the palettes, swatches, color, layers, history, brushes, brush presets. You'll work in Essentials workspace. In this exercise, you will choose one of the photos in files for exercises for exercise 5 fruit images. So you want to go to the folder fruit images and use one of them as subject of your painting. You should put it on your desktop for observation as well as on your bottom layer for color sampling. For this exercise, I would like you to try some new brushes that you have previously not used. Use lowered opacity so you can layer your painting marks. Paint in a normal mode using only 2 layers, one for the background and one for the fruit. Chiaroscuro, which in Italian means the use of light and dark to create the illusion of volume, three-dimensionality on the two-dimensional picture plane, is described in the reading Chiaroscuro in Files Readings. Please read and paint your fruit photo showing the light, highlight, reflected light, shadow, core of the shadow, and cast shadow. Save your painting as a PDF file with layers to turn in. Okay, so that's the exercise. Rather simple this time, but you're going to use your imagination to do this anyway. I'm going to the Chiaroscuro reading that I gave, and it's under readings in the files folder. So chiaroscuro is the use of light and dark to create rendered volume in space. So here are the parts of chiaroscuro: a list, light, highlight, reflected light, shadow, core of the shadow, and cast shadow. So sometimes people do chiaroscuro without using all of these parts, but you should know that they exist. So I took a photo of an orange and then I labeled the parts for you so you could see. So with the light part, you notice that there's a very highlighted, almost white little area, and that's the highlight. Then you have the light area, and there's a reflected light that's coming from the surface that the orange is sitting on. And this reflected light could also happen when an object is touching a surface, such as a wall. Then for the shadow, we have the beginning of the shadow, the very darkest part of the shadow called the core of the shadow, and the cast shadow, which is the area that you see on the surface that the orange is sitting on. Okay, so that's what you're going to do. And fruit are pretty simple because they're very round most of the time, so it's easier to see these different parts. So you're going to take a photo and paint it. And I'll show you some examples that other students have done. So some of these are PSD files, so I'm hoping that they all open in preview. But if they don't, we'll look at them as PDFs in Acrobat as well. So what some people did is create a palette for themselves by sampling. And we're looking at lighter and darker values, in this case, of green and red. So what they did most probably is select with the marquee tool a small part of the image and then fill that with the color sampled from the apple and create a palette that way. So you can make little areas, little rectangular areas, and then just hold on the Option and copy that rectangular area over and change the color in each little rectangle so that you have a palette to paint with. You can also sample colors, create a new group in your swatch palette, and use that. That's probably even better, because then you know, call it Apple, the new group that you create in your swatch palette. So in this was done quite well. You have the highlight, the light area. We have the reflected light that you can see on the right bottom side, the beginning of the shadow, the core of the shadow, and the cast shadow. So I'll just go through these student examples and you can see different students' attempts at doing this. There's no one right way to use the brushes to do this. I'd like you to try some brushes that you haven't, I wonder if this is the photo or a painting, that you haven't used before. So I'd also love for you to put in a background and indicate that the surface where the shadow is being cast. This is a funny one. So they drew a vector circle and just filled it in. That tends to flatten the apple out and not look very naturalistic, so I would not do that. I think we already saw this one. Okay, so I'm going to stop here, and I'd also like you to watch a video that I'm going to put up, a little talk on different ways that chiaroscuro has been used in art, and I'll put that up separately. So I'm stopping here. Good luck with this exercise.